Wonderful. Thank you, Doug, very much. Greetings, everyone. Welcome. We really appreciate this for you joining us. This, to the best of my knowledge, about 25 years of experience within the utility industry, is really the first time we've gathered to specifically talk about behind-the-meter solutions. So we're just delighted to have this time with you. Thank you for joining us. A little bit about who we are, where we come from. First and foremost is that we are utility owned. We're a utility that provides utility services to other utilities, if you will. So a little bit about American Water. We were founded in 1886. We're a publicly held utility. We provide water and wastewater services across 13 states, serving about 3.2 million customers. As a division of American Water, we're American Water Homeowner Services. We've been providing behind-the-meter solutions for 28 years now, and we've really developed a great sort of a recipe for success. But in terms of just kind of who we are as a division, we have partnerships with over 30-plus utilities and municipalities across the U.S. We protect right at 3 million homeowners across the U.S. from coast to coast. We protect their homes and we protect their budgets. We have 3 different call centers with about 400 total agents providing 24 hours by 7 access to our resources so that we can take great care of your customers. We manage a team of about 2,500 partnerships consisting of plumbers, electricians, and HVAC technicians from coast to coast that really helps us do a wonderful job of taking care of about 548 home repairs on a daily basis. So what do we mean by behind-the-meter services? So let's take a look at this. It's interesting to note that this may be a new kind of a concept to you, or at least a new title, a term that you might not have heard before, but really behind-the-meter services have been going on for 100 years now. In fact, it was back in those days when utilities, through hiring door-to-door salesmen, recognized the importance, the significance of providing appliance sales door-to-door. And that led, of course, to appliance repair, obviously. Now that they've got this a number of appliances out there, there's a great opportunity to not only sell them, but to repair them. The home warranty program, that concept really kind of came to be about 29, 30 years ago. That's when we've been in this business for 28 years. But essentially, behind the meter really encompasses value-added complementary type products and services, or think of it, if you will, as generating non-usage revenue. So it's not a new concept. It's 100-plus years old. And it's a great way for utilities to generate revenue behind the meter, either above or below the line, as well as significantly increasing customer satisfaction as well. One thing that's happened in the last probably, let's say, 8 or 9 years is the advent of the marketplace. So for many of you, you've already deployed a marketplace. This is a great place for utilities typically through digital means, through their website, to sell what initially was LED light bulbs and then smart thermostats, but today marketplaces include those products and many more, such as appliance sales and even EV chargers and a variety of energy-saving devices, whether it's shower heads or surge protection outlets, etc. So according to Chartwell, over 30% of all utilities today have already incorporated some form of a marketplace. So for those of you that are doing that, you're already offering behind-the-meter type solutions. Why did we choose home warranties? Well, for a lot of great reasons. First of all, once we're inside the home providing maintenance and repair services, we're now connecting to everything that you're providing, all services covering water, electrical, and gas. Home warranties offer a great return on investment. Think of it in terms of a simple insurance policy. For a few dollars a month, I can have coverage for what could be thousands of dollars worth of repair. Although home warranties are not glitzy or glamorous, they've been proven to be extremely popular and very, very profitable. They have very high penetration rates and great retention rates as well, and we'll see some of those numbers pop up in the next few minutes. Most importantly for us, we feel that it's a foundation for all things behind the meter. So as you start hearing from David and Katie, for example, coming up next, as they start incorporating these newer technologies into behind the meter solutions for utilities to adopt, having that foundational element of, already being in the home and having those partnerships with utilities and and utility customers provides us with great leverage as now we begin to bring new products and services to the table that can simply stack upon these, conventional type warranty programs. Home warranties protect the risk adverse for those that just don't want to take the gamble or perhaps aren't in a position financially to take the gamble, knowing that ultimately every one of these appliances that you see is and will break, and oftentimes they're getting increasingly expensive. Our local plumber here goes by the name of Affordable Plumbing, and they're not so affordable anymore. I can't tell you the last time they've been in our home where we haven't written a check for $200 or more. So even just some of the simple things such as a clogged drain pipe, for example, can be extremely costly, and especially as you get into some significant excavation work for water lines or sewage lines, you can easily be talking about thousands and thousands of dollars. So home warranty programs protect the risk adverse, they protect the low income, and even those on a fixed income for retirees, just to avoid those costly, repairs that just provide that sort of little level of protection and comfort. Home warranty programs are incredibly long-lasting. Typically, the only way we lose customers where they fall off of our program is generally when they actually move and they leave the partnering utility and go to a new area that doesn't offer those services. And then most importantly, there's just some peace of mind that comes with that, like any other, insurance type of coverage that just knows that you're protected. Your budget and your home is protected. So over the last 28 years, we've really, realized just how incredibly effective these type of programs are. One of the big issues, and now this year more than ever, based on what Doug was just kicking us off with, is that not everybody has a rainy day fund tucked away, and especially as you start to look at the younger generations. So there's a lot of great data coming from banks and insurance companies that will show that, typically almost half of Americans just simply don't have access to $1,000 in emergency fund, if you will, and 33% don't have that money at all, meaning that in the event that there was a significant, repair, that they would have to borrow money from a friend, a bank, or use a credit card. So just knowing that $4.95 or $5.95 charge will eliminate those expensive surprises just provides a lot of peace of mind. So not only from a financial perspective, but from just that of a customer experience perspective, just recognizing that there are better ways to improve the overall experience of vetting out a plumber and making sure they show up on a timely basis and all of the scheduling aspects that go along with that. Whereas our customers simply call us a single 800 number that oftentimes is branded to the utility, that then allows us to literally take care of all of their problems on their behalf. So what's in it for the utility? Well, as I've mentioned, two things really. One, it's all about increasing customer satisfaction, and then also from a revenue perspective. So let's just look at some J.D. Power information. This actually was published last fall, December of 2019. And without reading the whole thing, basically to summarize, is that based on their what they call Power Quality Reliability Index, that score of 0 to 1,000 that many of you are very familiar with, you can pick up 70 extra points or 7% lift by providing these value-added services. Even just when the customer is aware of the program and doesn't actually participate, you see a significant boost, but when they actually participate, it goes even higher. Now, we've had great partnership over the years with a company called Russell Research, and through Russell Research, we've continued to get them to survey our customers and your customers that are utilizing our services, and let's just look at some of this data as well. So first of all, their numbers are a little different, but very close to J.D. Power's, about a 12% increase in CSAT when your customer is aware of these value-added services, up to 18% when they actually participate in the programs. But there's a halo effect here as well in terms of fostering trust and kind of it making a customer feel more cared for, because if you really stop and think about it, these are just multiple touch points where the utility can really get, a chance to better communicate and more often communicate with the customer, long after they're beyond just out of there's an issue. Now, part of what we really want to do is to improve the overall customer experience, much like the way Uber and Lyft have shown you how broken that the taxi service can be for those of you that travel a good bit like we do. We've really incorporated a lot of digital technology. So although we'll answer the phone 24/7 anytime one of your customers calls to request a service call, they can also do that through a native app, for example, by scheduling it just digitally, looking at the available appointment slots, for example, in their service area, and scheduling while they're actually attending a webcast, for example, and not have to actually pick up a phone, or the ability to track where that plumber or electrician is and to avoid having to call back repeatedly saying, where is that technician? When will he be here? Do I have time to run to the grocery store? Do I have time to pick up my child from daycare? And then most importantly, being able to survey not only the customers the minute that the trouble ticket is closed, but being able to survey the technicians as well, so that if anything is to go wrong, we want to know about it on the front end. That process is highly escalated within our organization so that we're in touch with your customer to net everything out and make sure that it's fixed and it never happens again. So we've talked about things from a customer SAT perspective. Let's look at it from a revenue perspective, because that's the other side of the value of behind the meter programs. So oftentimes prospects are asking us, so what does the money really look like? Well, I guess the short answer is about 15%. So 15% of every dollar that's generated through these services go back to you for the life of the partnership. Now, probably the easiest way to summarize this would be to just show you an example of a recent gas utility that I've been working with. It had 500,000 meters, and based on our standard of what we call kind of our six-pack of services that kind of cover electric, plumbing, and HVAC, if you were to offer these programs and you were a utility with right at 500,000 meters, at the end of the first 5 years, you'd be looking at right at $4.5 million. Now, these numbers can go up, they can go down, really dependent upon how, sort of your willingness to promote these programs and services. So let's take a look and see what that really looks like. And as far as revenue share, we'd love to have offline conversations with you. If you can just give us, answer a few basic questions, we can project with a high degree of accuracy exactly what you could earn from these programs, and we can do it on a phased implementation, kind of a crawl, walk, run, or in many instances, our partners will go all in, and they want to start with the vast majority of our services. That's entirely up to you. So what you're looking at here is essentially 4 of our actual customers. You can see the size of the utility, the type of services that they offer. You can see when they actually started partnering with us. So in some instances, 28 years ago, and other instances, 2 years ago. And you can also see the services that they currently offer. And obviously, there's a kind of a high degree of connection. These are our most popular products. But most importantly, I wanted to call your attention to the penetration rates, because you're going to see a low of 12% all the way to a high of 26%. If you do the math and average that out, you're really looking at 19.5%. So let's just round it up to 20%. So first of all, home warranty programs are not for everybody. We understand that. But on average, about 20% of your customers will want to participate in these type of programs, and we feel that's a very good number. Now, what we've done over the last couple of years is look for new products and services that will enhance that penetration rate. Maybe they're not interested in conventional warranties, but they would be interested in providing repair and replacement services for their electronic devices like smartphones and tablets and laptop computers. That's a new program that we've offered, or a virtual surge protection. But most importantly is that you have total control over the penetration, and that takes place by doing a couple of different things. And so this is sort of what we consider our top 8, if you will, best practices that are going to significantly impact participation. So things like database marketing, for example, or direct mail or email marketing, those obviously are key ways in which we can reach out to your customers. We can do this by you sharing your customer contacts with us, or we can do it via third party, or we can provide you with all the marketing collateral, and then you in turn provide that if you don't want us to have access to any of your customer data. That's perfectly fine. There are a variety of different ways that we can do that. Leveraging online advertising, bill stuffers, things like social media can also be very, very effective. But when we go to the next slide, there's what we call or consider the key 3 of those top 8. And these are the 3 areas that we've really, gotten kind of behind the scenes on to recognize that these three areas have the most influential, impactful way of really driving penetration and therefore revenue. So let's just take a look at these three very quickly. The first is customer branding. There are multiple ways that you can brand a behind the meter solution. You can put your name on it, for example, so it might be Acme Energy Home Services. There's a hybrid solution where it's your brand and our brand in connection with one another, or it might just be under our namesake as well. So branding obviously improves stickiness and creates that kind of a better impact on penetration overall. Onboard billing is another one of the top three. By being able to incorporate our services or other behind-the-meter services on bill makes for a great convenience and a stickiness, if you will, for your customers. And then finally, and most importantly, the transfer or move call, or what you might consider start and transfer services. So this allows us to leverage that person-to-person connectivity. When your agent is talking to your new customer or your customer that's transferring service from one side of the territory to the other, this is going to be the most effective way of communicating these type of services. And we've actually perfected this model so that your agent could, at the end of the onboarding process, could make a quick call transfer, or a warm transfer as we call it, that would go directly to our agents as sort of a subject matter expert, that we could then kind of provide more information. And we actually have partnerships with utilities where we're actually handling all of the onboarding of those new customers or move customers. We can take that call for you on your behalf in a completely transparent mode, handle all of the onboarding, as well as then answer any questions about the warranty programs, send out literature, actually sign them up, and et cetera. So as we wrap my part of the presentation up, let's kind of land on three particular keys. The first is customer satisfaction. J.D. Power, again, 70 points in that Power Quality and Reliability Index ad. Russell Research, anywhere from 12 to 18%. That halo effect that's going to continue to foster care and build trust. From a revenue perspective, if you're at only 250,000 meters, then do the math and cut the number in half. But again, we'd be happy to provide you with actual rev share statistics that is specific to your unique scenarios. But there's really good money in these programs, and that provides you or puts you in a position to provide significant goodwill, especially during these particular trying times. So, in terms of debt forgiveness or funding low income type programs, or if it's just a matter of just providing some trees for the city park, it's your money. It can generate quite a bit of it, and it can go a long way in providing goodwill. And then finally, customer convenience, providing your customers with a better way of making home repairs, protecting their homes, protecting their budgets, being able to contact a live being 24/7, knowing that they're not going to get these huge surprises. Based on our programs, we boast a 95% paid claim rate on our products. So again, we're going to take very good care of you, the utility, and especially good care of you, your customer, because that's exactly what we do with our own customers that we provide these same products and services to as well. So we've actually kind of covered in very short time 100 years worth of behind the meter solutions.